with where that was looking. Love to see player cam shots like that where Diablo's trying to get back locked in. He's looking better now. Got to get that hair out of your face because it's time to go to game 4.
He laughed. He heard you. He's like, yeah, I really do. I got to get a haircut.
And, you know, in this draft here for BNK, it's the last draft where they have side selection. And you need to make this first pick count. See what it will be. Yone gone. Zig's gone. The real last strong engaged champion to deal with Zeri is the Nautilus. So, you know, it could be a Zeri angle at some point in this game. I think it's probably more suited for game 5, but something to consider. Kai'Sa once again banned. Consistent here from KT. And I do believe the last ban will be the Azir.
Yeah, you would have to imagine. I mean, unless they really don't want to play it and it gets banned on blue side, but that's pretty unlikely.
Can you imagine a world where they're like, don't worry, BDD's counterpick Akali. It's got it done. And we go straight to game 5.
Akali's been looking a little bit better nowadays, but
she's like 2 and 6 or something.
It's a little bit better. That's what I'm saying, you know?
Okay, Orianna's left up for the first time. That's going to go through. And I don't think you want to pick away Nocturne. But I also don't... I'm starting to wonder if this face-up in this draft, like, KT just out-draft and say, well, I see what you're looking for here, and play something safe for Duck Dom. The Ziggs is gone. The Kai'Sa is gone. This is going to go for a safe Ezreal angle?
Yeah.
A little bit surprised to see that at this point in the draft.
It's pretty early, for sure. Still a lot of good supports that go well with the Ezreal. Maybe they're expecting, like, Orianna Nocturne, and they want something a little bit safe.
I think that's the idea. They're actually going to go Vi. And this could set up for a potential Ahri draft as, oh boy. See that Nautilus this high up, and they're like, ooh, we need more engage.
Yeah.
Is this going to be Nautilus Zeri? Lock it in? Or
Naafiri?
Naafiri. This pick has been incredibly successful for Raptor in the postseason. And
it's good into Vi.
It's good into Vi because you could just go untargetable. It's a great ball carrier. You can target Ezreal, just point and click, get on top of him. I just think there needs to be a strong 2v2 in the bottom lane for this to work out. So I think you're probably going to have to ban Karma in the second phase. Lock Yorick in now. That's part of the plan.
Yeah.
It's actually not part of the plan.
And wait to select your bottom lane until later. Don't want to select just the one. But blind Yorick, pretty interesting.
Well, this means that because of the Ezreal pick, they have to decide whether they want to give counter pick to BDD here before the second phase or to Perfect. And it looks like the answer so far here is going to be Perfect. The Gwen is pretty good into Naafiri. Does a lot of consistent damage. And anyone who gets locked down is going to have a tough time. I thought perhaps we'd see something like an Ahri here, but it's really tough in Naafiri actually to play that with the Vi. Then you get super all-in on combos that Naafiri can just say no to. So now I'm starting to wonder what BDD is going to be playing here.
Well, the Galio's still open.
But Galio, Vi, really strong. Obviously, with the Gwen on top of it, can be quite a powerhouse brawly composition.
Yeah, I feel like that's got to be the first one to go.
They want to take away any sort of Renata power lane here. There's the Galio you mentioned. Karma's still strong in the 2v2. Depending on what lane they want to play here, it could ruin the opportunities that they're looking for with this Naafiri pick. Bard taken away here as well.
Bard also a good champ into Vi.
Because both solo laners are locked in, you could save counter pick for Peter here and grab BD's champion on 4. Like, Karma's still a consideration, I think. Well, take away the R is very obvious pick. Not very good into Naafiri, but it's just going to be Nautilus instead. And they grab right away. Scared of a potential Zeri angle, I suppose. This is definitely a lot of different lanes that are playable here for BNK. Could even be a Varus setup. See what he wants to go with.
Not a whole lot of 80 carries left available.
I mean, I don't think you're going to be playing Ashe here, but any sort of power lane feels good. The Varus I mentioned is going to be what it looks like Diablo wants to go to. There's no Renata. No Bard. You could go Karma here, but I think you want a little bit more engaged with this setup. So what's left? Not a whole lot. Pyke? I say that very jokingly. However, could be kind of okay here. Blitzcrank, outrange the Nautilus.
I like the Pyke better.
Tom Kench for safety.
Tom Kench?
Ain't violating nobody in this game.
Okay, I mean, they do have a lot of lockdown. It's Vi, Nautilus. This is a BDD classic. The Syndra.
Yeah, this is like BDD 30 year. Okay, dust it off. It's never been opened.
Special edition. Yeah, they're digging deep for this one.
I did not expect this, to be honest. But in terms of picks that set up well with this comp, you've run a little thin. Could have gone for some like insane scaling pick instead, but their draft is so set up by the Vi and the Nautilus that you want something that synergizes with that more than just raw damage or raw scaling in this draft. It's not great into the Fury. To be honest, it's very immobile. And because there's a Tom Kench on the other side, I'm not saying it's a bad pick here, but it's certainly a risky one, as trying to find those scatter angles can be tricky, especially if you fall behind in this game.
Feels very good with the comp in terms of theme. You know, it fits in. I just don't know if they really needed more pick with Vi and Nautilus. But
2021, when you think about like that year, it was Showmaker and BDD are the best Syndra players. They were at the top of the league with players like Chovy, who was on Hanwha Life Esports at the time.
Yeah.
Faker. It was like B1 Syndra meta back then. BD had a very memorable series with Genji at Worlds, where he won and then lost the game on Syndra that I will never forget. Such an iconic pick for this player. Everyone always talks about Showmaker's ex-girlfriend, because he, again, was the best mid laner, by the way, in 2021, when he was also one of those playing the pick, but BD very known for it as well. It's a niche pick, and KT are going to try to close the series out with it. I do otherwise feel like matchup-wise here, I kind of lean towards what BNK have put together. And as far as pick, though, fairly risky, fairly immobile in this draft. Diablo is going to have to carry.
At least they have Tom Kench for killing and a cool skin to go along with it. Feels like it's kind of matching the Fury in terms of the flashy colors. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty and Fearless already in game number 4. Let's do it. Let's hop onto the Rift. All right, game number 4. BNK backs against the wall. KT took a very critical game number 3 that swung back and forth. A little flash hook might come out here from Peter if they really want to force this one. No, just going to be the heel hook, and that's going to force the flash here from Clear.
Yeah, they're flashing for this too. Duckdom hits the Q, but they don't have enough follow-up there. Doesn't go through champions.
That wasn't what Duckdom was looking for.
It's now flashless. Peter is also healless, so Diablo and Kelvin, the biggest victors, actually, of this exchange, because they have summoner spell advantages in a 2v2 that's quite strong for the Varus, especially because it is lethality Varus with Comet here for Diablo, and they have this Nefiri, known to gank early in the winning lanes.
Exactly. You can play very aggressively, even on the Tom Kench.
I mean, look at this. At level 1, they're like walking up.
And Clear, you know, he loses his flash, so obviously he's the one who kind of suffers, but also made the play happen in a weird way because technically baited them. But yeah, you can just play safe. Gwen doesn't have Ignite, so there's a lot less kill pressure, and now can kind of just wait 5 minutes and say, okay, now I'm a real champ. But as long as Vi doesn't show up in the top lane, I think he should be fine.
Another hook here from Peter. Not sure if he's really going to like how it eventuates. Does back away. Slight trade advantage here for now, but let's see. Duckdom gets hit by the Q, and we even things up. Tough matchup for the Ezreal in general, but when Peter is already hooked like that, and you have the Pierce that Ezreal does not have, it gets a little bit easier. So what you do with Syndra, by the way, if people haven't watched Syndra in a long time, is you just win almost every lane. You constantly, if you can hit every single Q, push somebody in. And they don't like it. And you get prio, and you stack up your splinters. You become very powerful later on. Hit every CC you can, and you just never let off the gas. And then later, you do it again, and then you press R, and they die. And then in team fights...
Well said, yeah.
In team fights, you scatter and hit a bunch of people, and hopefully your team can follow up.
And BDD is the best at scattering, I would say, out of anyone. I mean, we have some other Syndra players who were mentioning Showmaker, right? But it's not really like a Faker Chovy classic either. Like, I would put a lot of other champs ahead of the Syndra in terms of that for those two players. So.
I mean, Chovy was really good in 2021, don't get me wrong, but like, he was not the mid laner, he was not the Syndra player.
He wasn't the Syndra guy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So like, BDD is just, he's got all the angles. Like, the BDD geometry is insane on this pick. So in terms of long-range engage, to set up the rest of your engage and pick, and, you know, some damage from the Ezreal, which you're really going to need. You know, you think about like Needles and Mystic Shot, it should be enough to poke someone out if they get hit by a scatter, even in the mid to late game.
100%. It's the same idea behind like, you know, Leona Ezreal. If somebody gets stunned, you WQ them, and then you keep queuing them, and then, you know, that person is chunked out as they get pushed away. There's so much follow-up damage here, so much burst in this composition for KT. It's hard to miss a scatter on someone who's ulted by Vi as well, as it turns out. So some power there as TP back. Started again, never let off the gas. As you can see, most champions have to build magic resistance into Syndra as a result of this. Like, we see Syndra versus Corki, builds the Hex Drinker first because you have to.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Kellen is...
Did he take a turret shot? Like, he got so low.
He does not want Peter to hold this wave. -1, there you go, mission successful.
Peter. He is walking in a straight line at Kellen and Diablo. Not scared of anything.
Raptor is here, by the way. Ducktime just eat, but this is a Nefiri, so he doesn't care about that too much.
Yeah, you see the ping where the Scryer Bloom went off, so they know 100%. Vikla already TP'd back to lane. He's not feeling very good about his situation here into Syndra.
It's just how it goes. Vikla's a bit young for this matchup. Hadn't quite joined the LCK when this was the meta, where it was Orianna versus Syndra almost every game.
I also feel like Orianna has a really good matchup into many other meta mids, but not into Syndra, who is not a meta mid. So for Vikla, this must be really tough, where he's like, I pick Orianna, I first pick Orianna, I should win any lane from what's left, and now he's just getting bullied by BDD instead.
The Syndra, like, the challenge of Syndra is hitting all of your orbs. And then obviously scatters, right, later on, but if you just hit every single orb, you win every matchup early. You're like, oh, I'm doing damage to you and you can't reach me, I'm doing damage to you and you can't reach me. The challenge is to hit them, but if you're BDD, you don't miss those. Perfect is gonna catch this wave here and catch up on farm. I'm taking too much of a look at this. The Ignite was used early. Clear has his flashback now, excuse me, and has evened up. The farm is straight up dead even between these two right now. We saw that early attempted gank from Raptor. He didn't commit. Peter is making me very nervous with his positioning in this game. Calculated.
Yeah. Very good at dodging the tongue. And that's very important when you're playing Nautilus.
It's really hard to gank this lane right now as Nefiri because it's not winning hard enough. They're not able to crash, and it's also Ducktime and Peter just sitting under turret, you know, so it's not like they're pushed up. We've seen kind of both ways for Raptor, and hit level 5 and hasn't really had an impact in this game. It's very different from the previous two Nefiri games we saw from this guy in play-ins. And with no prio in mid, and honestly with the amount of prio he has top, it's kind of a liability. Like, you can't really gank there either. Just going to be farming it out to 6. 6 hit for Cuz at the same time.
Barrier. Just trying to exist against Syndra.
Yeah, that's what everybody's trying to do.
It's kind of interesting that they've just left Diablo here. They're like, okay, well, Vikla's really struggling.
Vikla's like, I don't want any more of this.
So we're just going to send Diablo there. And now Vikla is in a 1v2 himself and in a little bit of trouble. Going to flash away. There's the shockwave. Yes, we'll get the barrier out of Duck Dom, but also had to burn his flash.
There was not a lot of vision for KT in that river, or I think Duck Dom might have flashed on him and killed him, but he just doesn't have enough info to do that. Ult's gonna commit.
Chain's gonna come down, and the Syndra not very mobile, in a lot of trouble, but the R does come out, and Cuz will be able to secure the kill, but now he's in a rough spot himself, has to flash Q out.
Clean
Pretty
flash
smooth.
Q, yeah, that was actually, I thought he was dead for sure.
Yeah.
Still gonna be a huge wave lost from BDD. He's gonna pick up all that money himself, so they get something out of it, but really nice setup there. Diablo hitting max range on the ult. And the follow-up from Kellen was very quick on the Tom Kench. And this is the problem with Syndra. You're winning and you're pushing and you have to, a bit of a steal.
I like to play gold Ezreal ults.
Yeah. Okay.
Stealing objectives
They're
and stuff.
still coming over here, by the way. Raptor has Smite. Doesn't have... Okay, there he goes.
Yeah. Smite it down. Peter is very ahead of his team. And so the scatter's going to come down. The engage. Tom Kench comes in, and Kellen's flashing in. BDD, no flash himself, and the goalie wall not going to land. Phase Rush OP gets him out.
Yeah, that was a very wonky exchange there. Peter was like 1 minion away from hitting level 6, as you could see on his XP bar at the bottom right of your screen. I don't know if that was necessarily going to save him or win that fight for them, but he went very deep and did instantly regret it. So go all the way back to this play here. Look at this Chains of Corruption. Diablo gets hit, but still is able to get his ult off before he's stunned. And then Kellen follows up. Raptor goes in with the ult. It's a big burst there onto BDD, but Diablo gets so low in the exchange that Cuz is able to get him and then flashes to make sure the Q does not get blocked by anybody. He gets away. And we kind of reset to a relatively even game state after it all. There was that grub fight. KT only secure 1 of the 3 after what looked like was going to be a big win for them. Peter gets picked off. Enjoying the action in this one.
Yeah. Looks like we found a lane for Vikla to exist in up against the Gwen. I don't think Perfect's going to have a very fun time in this lane, so might be something they look at.
They're like, wait a minute, you built the magic resistance. You got Merc Treads. Yeah, this will be the lane for you.
Yeah.
Peter's like, nah, I'm going to go get him. Didn't quite get him.
No lane is safe if Peter is there, but just dodge and you're fine. Tier 2 boot's going to help out with that.
Yep, we have the matchup of Syndra into the Yorick now, which is... Can't say I've seen this one too much, but...
You can just grab the maiden, by the way.
I was going to say, like, that part feels fun. And in fact, BDD almost takes it out. It's going to be a pretty even lane, though, I think, for now. We'll get a little bit tougher for BDD later on. And the next objective is this dragon, right? Certainly, eventually, we will group for it. One of these two teams will. Perfect has TP, but is going to use it to go back to the lane. Vikla doesn't have TP, so we'll just match that. If it is going to be a fight, it'll be a 4v4. Peter actually has a ton of prio right now. Is trying to get some vision. And I don't think he will pay for it.
Yeah.
We'll lose the ward. And with the back timing of clear, it's actually just going to be a free plate over to BDD. And certainly, the dragon will eventually get a look. You know, neither team has enough prio to commit to it right now.
Yeah. I think if there's a team that's willing to just start it up a little bit risky, will be BNK.
And BNK, if they had Vikla here, I think they could just start it up. Like, if Vikla was in the bottom lane and not the, you know, less than 1 item Yorick that can't really team fight, then I think they do start it. They look for a turn off the Orianna. Raptor has his W, right? But instead, it's Yorick down here. They do, in fact, start it anyways, because they get this mid-prio here with Diablo. Tom Kench in the River Brush. And despite Clear not being very good at team fighting, they just get enough prio here, and he's good at hitting a dragon. That much he will do. And finally, at nearly 12 minutes into the game, that first mount will go over. Could have another Hextech Soul, crazy as it is.
Yeah. Or Chemtech, we could have that. Some very tech-heavy dragons available.
Yeah.
Not feeling very primitive.
No.
The Thunder Sky done here for Cuz. Got that first kill. And from there has skyrocketed into the lead. Big
angle.
Yeah, gonna go in. The shockwave actually pretty good on a Perfect, but eventually he just dies. Elects not to flash.
Oh, his flash wasn't up yet, I think, for like 3 more seconds.
Oh, wow.
And like that timing is kind of brilliant. Vikla just gets his flashback right after he's killed.
Very unfortunate for him then.
Yeah. Maybe he calculated here by KT. They saw his flash, they mark it with the ping, and then he doesn't have it there. Either way, it's a really crisp engage. 6 seconds away, just got the confirmation when he was taken down, so very, very close. Hard to even see on the UI. And that's a big win for KT. Rolster, Vikla taken out of the exchange. And look at this, Tahm Kench coming up, the Fury coming up. The timing for this for KT could, the margins were so thin, and his ult was fantastic. Doesn't have flash, sadly, Cuz does.
Kellen almost got there too for the Devour.
Like, clears here, Raptor's almost there. Like, doesn't get unluckier than that for Vikla, or more calculated for KT.
It's actually the perfect timing. It could not have been better.
Getting away with murder, quite literally there.
Yeah, if Kellen was there just a little bit sooner, could have easily turned that play around, could have gone wrong, but instead it's just a nice win for KT. And still a very even game at this point. You know, you got leads in some places on the map, like Cuz is ahead. Obviously he has that first item, but so does Raptor with his Profane Hydra. And then of course the bottom lane here for BNK ahead with a couple of kills on Diablo.
Perfect is going to be the target here. There's a lot of KT members coming down. They have to be fast. Shroud is down now.
Yeah, just going in. There's a couple of ults just thrown in a Perfect, and Diablo going to last hit that one. Says thank you very much, team. Picks up his third kill.
Very clean and no real cross map for KT because they rushed over to try to defend this and failed. So they're all just kind of here to watch. And maybe we could even see a follow-up dive.
Got that nice hook onto the mini wolf.
Yeah, and then a missed Chains of Corruption to follow it up. So we're missing everywhere on that one. And at the end of the day, BNK still like what the eventuality of those plays looked like. This game is so even right now. And, you know, BNK can keep themselves in it because this comp is very easy to execute dives on because you have the Nefiri W, you have Devour. You can just hard force this no matter what. Like, straight up, there's just no living if KT don't show up. They try to show up, they're a little bit late. But this Varus is becoming a problem very quickly, and the play on it so far has been pretty strong for Diablo. Has been the main character here for BNK in this series. Raptor not quite making the impact he did in play-ins in this one, but game's far from over. So still wondering what BD is going to look like in team fights on this Syndra because it's challenging to pull off, not consistent damage. Now, this is the mid laner you go Luden's Companion on, because you're not looking to do long-term damage. You're looking to do burst, you're looking to kill a single target.
Yeah. I mean, they just have so much access. The only question is, you know, can they deal with Tahm Kench with Redemption if they get far behind, right? Like, you've got all these different things that pick off targets, but they don't do a whole lot of consistent damage outside of Ezreal. So, yeah, you might be able to get that first target. I mean, I guess they have Gwen, who I kind of forgot about, but
she's melee,
they need to be in a good spot after they do get the pick to actually do the damage.
Exactly, because Diablo's going to do a ton. As Raptor's the target here.
Yeah, going on in. There's that pick. No chance as Kellen gets in.
They barely get him again. Like, he's not even, he's chain CC'd. He can't go untargetable. Kellen's too late, and this is going to be Herald for KT.
Yeah, looks like Diablo's already going mid, and Bigla's like, well, can't do this alone. And a nice pick off here from KT, utilizing that composition to get even further ahead.
Diablo channeling that Q for a long time, sticking around. I got nervous for him. Gets the pedals and gets out, truly. It's already pushed in, Diablo. You don't need to walk up like that. You're going to give BNK fans a heart attack. Like
they're used
already
to it.
did. Yeah.
They're used to it.
I think both fan bases here.
Yeah.
Another dive setup. Cuz doesn't have his ult anymore, but it's the lone Yorick. Does have flash.
He's got his flash. He's got the Maiden.
Teammates coming up.
The whole team is here. And the Nautilus goes into the Rift Herald. Doesn't have his ult. Cuz has to get in the Rift Herald, but it's just going to be smoked down. 69 health. And Cuz is going to get out just barely. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't think they can catch him.
Nope.
He charges another Q and gets out. Diablo was trying to charge his own to lock him down, but maybe they can turn this into a turret take here on the top side. Empowered recall for Cuz. He's going to send him home quickly. This turret's pretty healthy, actually. That's a Gwen.
All right, they want to try to lock down this Nautilus as they can't quite do it. The exhaust is going to help out there big time.
Duckdom looking for some extra damage here. It's actually quite a lot he gets. Even potentially stop some backs, not going to. They still didn't get this turret yet because they put everything into Peter. He gets away, Perfect clears the wave, and this turret's still sitting at 65, 70% health here. This next wave will crash in though, and do significant damage because they have 2 grubs. Cuz is just going to take the dragon though in exchange. Cuz is having an insane day, by the way. Like, if they win this game, I think he picks up POM for sure. Look at this angle. Denies Cone, gets the chain CC there with a scatter. No chance to go untargeted. Beautiful call from Cuz and KT. And that's the power of Vi Syndra. And then here, like, this gets a little bit funky as Clear does have flash, is able to get away. The escape from Cuz. So frustrating. This is why Heralds get used in teamfights sometimes now as well. Avoids the Q there from Raptor and gets out. And now KT are going to get their own turret down here in the bottom lane.
Pretty insane what they have been able to get away with, I would say, in this game so far. And KT's come from a lead is amazing because they can kill literally anybody. They will have the damage because of their lead. Peter is just dead.
Yeah, Peter can't kill literally anybody, but if they're all together, yeah, I agree with you, for sure.
Yeah, he looks a little bit embarrassed after that one. Not sure exactly what was going on there, but...
to set up vision around the dragon that spawns in 4 minutes. Nah, he wanted to help us, you know, have vision for side lane.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Peter's never made a mistake in his life, so.
He is actually perfect. You might think Perfect is the top laner for KT, but actually it's the support.
Perfect may just be a goner here.
Yeah, it might be. So we're going to have the mist come down, but the shockwave inside of it is going to help out quite a lot. Doing a bit of damage there to Raptor, not bad.
Cross map potential here. Looking for the Hex Flash. Looking for Kellen.
Ooh.
Just Kellen.
Just Kellen things.
Nice dodge. All right, well, this did not go well for KT across the map. They lose Perfect after we made a bunch of jokes about Peter, who also died right before that. Then they weren't able to get the cross map, and a lot of minions were lost in mid lane.
Yeah.
So Perfect here. I think he's in a much more comfortable position if Raptor doesn't have red buff, but he does, and Raptor's able to get on top of him, and now he just knows he's dead. Has his mist, but Shockwave is just going to do too much damage, and Vikla helps auto him down. So 2 kills here, some lost farm in mid, and suddenly Diablo's on 4 kills. You don't have that same control we were talking about. You know, you talked about how good this comp is from ahead. Its turn is fantastic. See target, lock it down, blow it up. A little bit tough in this one now that the control is back in BNK's favor. And they have so many protective tools here for this Fed Vars.
We're just doing Otacon.
Yeah, but like KT don't have any vision. They don't have any way to get back in here.
They can bait the TP out as well if Perfect decides to utilize that. But yeah, they're just able to walk on in and stop that from happening.
Perfect cannot interrupt the TP of Vikla, but Vikla can do the opposite. So really tough to calculate how much they can really commit here, KT. But they reset, BNK that is, and then clear this mid wave and they'll probably go again. It's not enough vision control this time around. Some of it's cleared, but there's that ward over the wall there. Remember that for BNK, this is not their tournament life on the line, but it would be a spot in the upper bracket if they can win this series. They need to win this game and then the final game. So some caution, I think, makes sense. You just don't want to lose your killer instinct, your killer's edge here in this game.
I do feel like whoever does win this gets snap selected by Gen G. Like, Gen G can't select yet because the match isn't over, but I think the second it ends, like, whoever wins is going to face off against Gen G. I think that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, they might have sent it in already. Whoever wins this series.
Preemptively?
Yeah, we choose. Doubtful, to be honest, because that's not really how teams operate, but
yeah,
for our narrative, we'll say maybe. The Muramon is about to transform here for Diablo, and this is a very, very powerful fight for the side of BNK because once again, they have full vision control, they have great turn, and there's just no way for the Syndra to do anything when you can't see where to scatter. If there's no setup for the Syndra, like BD can do nothing in this scenario. From behind, so tricky here. Duckdom gets some poke down, but they pull off of the Otacon. They just really want the fight. They don't want the Otacon. This is kind of BNK's MO. They're using the Otacon very well in this series, but if you just kind of say, well, if you're not going to fight us, then we'll take the Otacon. Then you can actually get the Otacon, you know? They decide not to in this case. They don't like it. They don't like the setup.
Yeah.
Not perfect for them. Again, they don't want to drop down to lower bracket off a Otacon flip.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to play around the Otacon. You know, we don't have to be scared about them starting it up because we just know that they're just utilizing it for map pressure.
It's Hextech Soul again, which is insane for both of these teams, by the way, with the Ezreal and Varus. So
well,
that Dragon might be a look. But instead, first, we're going to tank it up with Diablo.
Yeah, I
don't know if I like that.
I don't know about that. And BNK are just saying, like, okay, we'll give up one Hextech Drake. We'll take the Otacon. But can't you just say, you're not getting Otacon?
Yeah, now they get denied Otacon. Duckdom gets some serious damage done onto this turret, and it's actually going to be Otacon control, but also Dragon. To KT, they can put this Gwen because Gwen does such insane DPS, and they knew every single member of BNK, including the jungler, was topside. Perfect can just go on this alone while KT continue to contest Otacon. Did so much damage there in that last little exchange. And Diablo, that's so hurt that he's so battered and bruised, he needs to go home 100%. KT are like, thank you for Dragon. Cuz shows up just to press the D key and take it home. And BNK once again going to reset now towards the top side of the map and try to clear vision, but KT just ran quite literally circles around them in that last exchange.
And they just got feats of strength as well off of that play, just getting the Dragon. Almost 24 minutes into the game, they secure that, so it was pretty close, actually. It's one objective away. And now BNK trying to set something up in mid, but just got to be so careful.
Like, when you have vision like this as BNK, you can absolutely threaten the Otacon. And once again, you could just put somebody on it like Raptor and look for the same setup we saw. It's not quite as easy as it was with the Vikla Talia game in game 1, but you can start that up and look for a pick as KT rotate over. And if they don't, then you can take the Otacon. But if you kind of just go, I hope they walk into our bush, and then when they don't, you go, well, okay, I guess we'll just go back to mid, then you don't get anything. And maybe we gave them a little bit too much credit on the Otacon setup in game 1. But again, I think this is nerves a little bit because of the stakes at play here in this game.
Yeah, a lot of stakes up for grabs. We did have Alistair. Yeah, Alistair was in game 2. Okay. Looks like we did have Alistair played. Yeah, it was played.
Just one stake in this
game. The only stake champion. And yeah, just going to take down mid turret and maybe just the Otacon as well.
See, KT know they can just hide in the bush and have one person do the Otacon and look for a trap, and if they don't show up, then you just get the Otacon. KT are knowers. Cuz is a knower. Cuz ready for his palm, man. He's ready to win this game 4.
Just do Otacon.
Apparently.
All right, trying to gank an Ezreal. This is why they picked Ezreal. Well, not necessarily to get away from Tahm Kench, but to survive against potential Orianna combos. And now, they're just going to take Otacon. BNK seemingly have no idea. And the wave clear is there. Otacon comes down, Redemption utilized.
It's either a surprised look on Clear's face when it was taken, but I don't know where they thought Cuz and BDD were, but we're on Otacon, and down it goes. Freebie here for KT. Giving them a pretty significant experience lead. Duckdom the target.
Oh, Duckdom in a bit of trouble. Has to flash over the wall, but that's not going to stop Raptor as he goes super deep for that one. Ult to use on a Raptor. He continues in on a Peter. Just trying to get away from this one. Doesn't have his own flash. Perfect on the Gwen. He's got a very nice angle with his needles, but he doesn't have any teammates. Finally, we are going to have Cuz come in. And the scatter on a 3 in the pit as Cuz sets it up and BDD knocks it down.
That's way too many members of BNK going in. Very deep there. Raptor trying to get the secondary ult onto Peter. It's in the wrong spot. Cuz takes his head off. Goes in for the re-engage. The follow-up scatter is phenomenal. And I think that is the end of the chances of BNK moving to upper bracket. Raptor goes on to Duckdom here. As you can see, Baron is, of course, being taken in live after the wipe. Duckdom has to flash out. He's collapsed on here. And from here, you can play this very differently, I think, than BNK decide to. They could have looked for BDD, could have looked for any sort of topside. Instead, Raptor isolates himself looking for the Nocturne, or the Nautilus, rather. And then, watch this from Cuz. Flashes in, ults into the pit, BDD flashes for the follow-up. If that's not trust and mid-jungle synergy, I don't know what is, but
Cuddy
damn. Cuddy D,
it's
baby.
the return of Cuddy D, man. It's too good.
Oh, that was crazy to watch.
Yeah.
I think if BNK played towards the top side of that fight, though, things look so different. The pick on the Duck Dom, that's fine. But after that, going a little bit too far into the KT territory, a little bit too far into Cuz's territory, which right now is the whole of Summoner's Rift.
He has the most XP, the highest level in the game, above everybody as a jungler. I think he's definitely the palm, and not just one of those recency bias palms either. He is just the player of the match.
Yeah, if you think about the most recent series he was in, I think, yeah, he did well in all of the games. Maybe not game one as much, but
no, nobody was there. They're trying to get on top of a Gwen. That's not working out. The Nefiri just disappears underneath the Gwen, and oh my god. Cuz is actually just an assassin Vine.
Yeah.
He's so fed and so strong.
Bears is trying to hold the wave here. But, I mean, this one does get through. Baron buffed up. And with the empowered cannon minion, they just eventually will siege this through. They don't even need that one. And keep it alive and actually look for that bottom inhibitor turret as well, as this is just a formality watching this one. Even if he lives, which he likely will die.
There, you might as well fight. Oh. Well, he's dead.
They are losing their base. This is the real story. Ooh. All right, well.
Yeah, well, that looked pretty cool, but
that's what we call a near hit.
Yeah.
Israel likes to call it that, actually.
It's still a 9,000 gold lead. It's still going to be Hextech Soul Point. And Cuz is 3-item Vi and the strongest person on the Rift.
Yeah.
All right, we're ganking perfect. I mean, he is very alone.
Yeah, he is also very 200 gold bounty.
Yeah, he is very 200 gold bounty, that is for sure. 3v1, can they kill perfect is the answer, or the question rather, as the needles are insane, and now BDD and Peter are coming on over. They turned the fight around. The game was already over, but this really sealed the deal.
KT, phenomenal performance here in this final game, and Cuz, sure, he got seismic shoved and he was a ragdoll with Peter in game one, but for the rest of the series, this man took it into his own hands.
Oh boy. Yeah, Vikla, you see the rest of BNK, they're even sitting out of their seats at this point in time. They know the game is over. 30 minutes and KT get it done. A swift 3-1 victory from them. They forget all about game one and they take it down, and they will be moving on to face off against Gen.G. Most likely. We don't know who Gen.G has selected just yet, but KT's still looking strong, at least in this match against BNK.